Coming up on Evening Edition, the River Region is expecting its first snowfall. Plus, Missouri will be getting a new Attorney General. And a community mourns over a deadly shooting. Live from Southern Illinois University, you're watching River Region Evening Edition.
Winter temperatures have officially hit the River Region. Good evening, I'm Kyler Giebert.
And I'm Samantha Soto. Southern Illinois received its first bit of snowfall last night, and many see it as a sign that winter is coming. Madeline Parker shows us how you can stay safe on the roads while the temperatures start to drop.
The wind is blowing, the snow is falling,
and it looks like the temperatures are just going to keep getting colder.
But November 11th kicks off Winter Weather Preparedness Week, and the National Weather Service has released some winter safety tips, including what to do to drive safely during the winter months. In order to stay safe on the roads, Dr. Trent Ford says you should keep these items in your car.
Some sand or salt in case you get stuck. You can give yourself a little bit of a rough surface to get out, as well as I like to keep obviously an ice scraper handy, as well as a few blankets.
And because roads can get a little slick in winter months, graduate student Jeff Wright had this advice.
Just reduce your speed. That's the biggest key.
You should also make sure to avoid risky behavior like texting or talking on the phone while driving, and drivers should avoid braking quickly and taking sharp turns.
No matter how well the roads are salted, they're still pretty slick, and so if you slide into a ditch, it's important to be ready for that.
And what's the best way to stay prepared?
Keep an eye on your weather forecasts.
For Evening Edition, I'm Madeline Parker.
And most of our viewing area will be under a winter storm watch very soon.
So Jordan Smearman is here now with a first look at weather. Jordan?
Well, Kyler and Sam, you are right. It was cold today, and we will be seeing that winter storm coming here soon. But tonight it'll actually be 23 degrees with those clear skies. By morning, the temperature will not be changing. It's still going to be 23 degrees, but we'll have partly cloudy skies. By midday, the temperature will actually increase to 33 degrees, but those partly cloudy skies will still be here. But coming up in my full forecast, there is no Netflix. There is just chills. However, and I will be telling you a little bit more about that winter storm watch coming up in my 5-day forecast and more.
Thanks, Jordan. A morning apartment fire closed part of Route 13 near downtown Carbondale. According to Carbondale Police, the 400 block of westbound Route 13 was closed at University Avenue this morning due to a fire at an apartment building next to the library. The fire badly damaged the roof of the home converted into apartments. It is not clear how many people live in the building or how many units are in the complex. No injuries have been reported and the cause of the fire is unknown. Fire crews from Murfreesboro, Marion, and Carterville provided assistance. And emergency crews responded to a crash on I-55 this morning in Cape Girardeau. According to the Missouri Highway Patrol, a pickup truck hauling a second pickup truck was merging from the old Appleton entrance ramp when the truck and a semi-truck collided. The driving lane of I-55 was blocked due to the crash.
The Paducah Police Department is asking for your help in identifying a man who stole a bracelet from Zales on November 2nd. The bracelet is valued at more than $6,500. The suspect is described as African American in his early 20s. He also has a tattoo on the right side of his neck and a tattoo between his eyebrows that appears to say STL. Anyone with any information is asked to call the Paducah Police Department or Crime Stoppers. And earlier today in Thompsonville, an unidentified male pulled a knife on an employee at Payne's Service Center. According to the West Frankfort Gazette, the man attempted to steal a vehicle. Franklin County Sheriff's deputies later arrested the suspect along State Route 34. We will have more updates on this arrest as they become available. And a Johnson City Girl Scouts will hold a vigil tonight in honor of the 3 Wisconsin girls and a troop leader who died earlier this month. They were killed in a hit-and-run accident while working on a community service project. The vigil will take place at the Johnson City Scout Cabin at 6 p.m. Hot apple cider will be available to those who attend, and the Girl Scouts will make cards for the victims of the families.
And Missouri is getting a new state attorney general. Today, Governor Mike Parson announced Eric Schmidt will take over the position for Josh Hawley. Hawley is headed to the U.S. Senate after defeating incumbent Senator Claire McCaskill in last week's midterm election. Governor Parson said he anticipated the vacancy and was ready to go with a replacement for Hawley.
We have discussed many qualified candidates, but in the end, it was important to appoint someone who has already been thoroughly vetted by the people of Missouri. someone that Missourians have already placed their trust and faith in to represent their will here in Jefferson City.
Josh Hawley will resign from the Office of Attorney General effective January 3rd.
To help commemorate Missouri's bicentennial, drivers in the state will be getting new red, white, and blue license plates. The new plates will be issued when vehicle owners apply for or renew their license plates over the next couple of years. The new license plates will cost the state about $17 million. State officials hope to have the new plates in place before Missouri's 200th anniversary in 2021. And Governor-elect J.B. Pritzker says he will live at least part-time at the governor's mansion in Illinois in Springfield. Pritzker tells the Chicago Tribune that he and his wife will do a lot of commuting to their Chicago home as their 16-year-old daughter and 14-year-old son will stay at their current schools. The billionaire Democrat defeated incumbent Republican Governor Bruce Rauner in last week's election and will take office in January.
A security guard fatally shot by police Sunday at an Illinois bar was remembered during a vigil last night. The security for Manny's Blue Room bar asked a group of men to leave around 4 a.m. Witnesses say someone returned to the bar with a gun and opened fire. Security returned fire and Jamel Robertson, one of the security guards, was able to detain the man. Midlothian police officers responded and shot Robertson, who was kneeling over the detained man. Witnesses say officers shot an innocent man.
I told you a million times, he's security. The suspect is being apprehended right here. Everything is under control. After everybody told you that, including the 70 people that was out here, you intentionally fired one time. After you fired that one time, you shot my little brother 4 more times.
The State Police Public Integrity Task Force is investigating the police-involved shooting. Robertson's family filed a lawsuit against the officer in Midlothian Police.
SIU has a chance to help Salukis in need. The Saluki Food Pantry is hosting the Thanksgiving Back food drive tomorrow. Any non-perishable food items as well as basic toiletries will be accepted, but the 3 most needed items are pasta, canned meats and beans, and cereal or breakfast items. Donations will be accepted tomorrow at the Student Center main entrance, art gallery, and at the Student Center office. And this semester's Speakers Forum will be held tonight in the SIU Student Center Auditorium from 7 to 8 p.m. Sponsored by the Department of Communication Studies and the Society for Civil Discourse, this semester's topic is diversity and inclusion. What does it mean to you? Students are invited to attend and hear what fellow students have to say on the topic, as well as add their voice to the discussion during the Q&A session following the presentation.
Ahead on Evening Edition, open arguments began today in the trial against drug lord El Chapo.
But first,
there is nothing left. All my neighbors except one are gone.
The campfire burning in Northern California is now the deadliest in state history. The latest coming up next on Evening Edition at 5. Crews are working around the clock to try to contain catastrophic wildfires burning across California.
While firefighters are beginning to make some progress, extreme conditions are hindering their efforts. Karen Kafa reports.
With the death toll in the north rising and near hurricane-force gusts expected in the south, firefighters in California face another uphill battle.
From all that I've seen and heard, the fire burned hotter, faster, and destroyed not only homes, but deep infrastructure such as power lines, water lines, sewers, roads, lights, and other things that make a city a city.
The governor of California is clear about where he places blame.
The temperatures are warming. The winds are getting more intense. The fires are more likely. The hurricanes are more intense. Warming is occurring because of the continuing and rising carbon emissions.
The campfire burning in Northern California is now the deadliest in state history. The majority of lives lost come from this community, now burned to the ground.
A whole town was wiped off the face of the earth in a matter of 8 hours.
There is nothing left. All my neighbors except one are gone.
Meanwhile, fierce winds continue to threaten lives and homes in Southern California's Woolsey fire. Harrowing stories of escapes and close calls are emerging.
I called him because my car was completely surrounded by flames and I couldn't see out the window, and I started to fill up with smoke, and I called him and I said, "Nick, I'm gonna die and I'm not gonna make it out of here. There's just flames everywhere and I don't know what to do." And he said, "Don't die, run. If you're gonna die, die fighting."
Family, friends, and well-wishers gathered last night in Thousand Oaks, California to honor the 12 lives cut short by last week's shooting at a California bar. The suspect, who was a U.S. Marine veteran, opened fire outside the Borderline Bar and Grill, then continued his rampage inside before taking his own life. And pastors of a Kentucky church that nearly became the target of a racially motivated attack last month are encouraging members to bring their guns to church. The church is asking several members with security and law enforcement backgrounds to carry firearms during Bible studies and services. Members with concealed carry permits will also be allowed to carry their guns if they notify church leaders.
Florida isn't the only state dealing with a voting issue. Georgia officials have been ordered to review thousands of provisional ballots that have not yet been counted in the state's governor's race. Democratic candidate Stacey Abrams currently trails Republican Brian Kemp, but she has refused to concede. They've all been told to use all available registration documentation that voters provided to confirm their identity. Georgia has to certify all results by November 12th. And after last week's firing of Attorney General Jeff Sessions, it looks like more top administration officials could be on the chopping block. Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen could soon be on her way out, as well as White House Chief of Staff General John Kelly. This goes against what President Trump said earlier this year, that Kelly could stay on as Chief of Staff until the end of the president's term. Sources say possible replacements for Kelly include Vice President Mike Pence's Chief of Staff, Nick Ayers.
Opening arguments for Joaquin Guzman, better known as El Chapo, started today. El Chapo has pledged not guilty on all charges. Prosecutors say El Chapo is the kingpin of a massive drug trafficking network between the U.S. and Mexico and has laundered more than $14 billion from drug sales.
The allegations in the indictment make clear that over the course of decades, Guzman's destructive and murderous rise as an international narcotics trafficker is akin to that of a small cancerous tumor.
According to El Chapo's attorney, the trial is expected to take several months.
In health news tonight, how long should women wait between pregnancies? According to the World Health Organization, a woman should wait 2 years. The American Gynecological Association says at least 6 months. But now researchers are saying 1 year is the prime time to wait between the birth of one child and the birth of another to prevent health complications. The conclusion suggests mothers, especially over 35, add a little extra time between pregnancies to avoid complications. One day when you watch the news, you could be seeing a virtual journalist. China's state news agency debuted a virtual anchor last week, designed to deliver the news 24 hours a day. The robot is modeled after a real-life Chinese anchor and tries to simulate his facial expressions and gestures. The developer has not said if any of China's state-run TV channels have shown an interest in using the technology.
Parts of the river region woke up to some snow this morning. Are we going to see any more snow this week? Jordan has your forecast next.
But first, on Wall Street, stocks ended the day with mixed results. The nightly business report has more coming up next at 5:30.
Welcome back to River Region, where we saw the sun peek through just a little bit today, as we can see from this viewer photo taken by Jenna Wynn. If you have a viewer photo, you can send it to our Facebook or Twitter at River Region News. And actually right now it is 28 degrees and those partly cloudy skies. Our dew point is at 17 degrees. Humidity is at 63%. The wind is coming in from the northwest at 9 miles per hour, and our barometer is at 30.46. For our almanac today, we can see that we are actually 30 degrees below our average high for this time of the year of 59 and 17 degrees below our average low of 37. However, we did not hit either record of 83 set in 1955 or 10 set in 1920. We were cold, but not that cold. And looking at our temperatures around the region, we can see that it was pretty cold across the entire region. Waterloo was sunny and 27. Carbondale and Marion both had partly cloudy skies and 28 degrees. Cape Girardeau was sunny skies and was at 31. Paducah had mostly cloudy skies and was at 30 degrees. And Evansville was cloudy at 31 degrees, just like Cape Girardeau. Looking at our temperatures around the nation, we can see that it was pretty cold across the entire nation, as most of the states were feeling temperatures in the 30 and 40 degree range, and actually parts of the Midwest were feeling temperatures in the 20s and 30 degree range, which is what we felt today. Looking at our surface map, we can see that there's not a lot going around in our region. However, there is some snow in Michigan that we'll be seeing, that will be coming through our region in the days ahead, and we'll be seeing that very soon. Looking at tomorrow, we will see that it's going to be mostly clear for tonight. It will be 20 degrees. The wind will be coming in from the north at 6 miles per hour, and the sun is going to be setting at 4:46. For the bus stop in the morning, it will be partly cloudy, 24 degrees for the temperature, and the wind will be coming in from the northeast at 7 miles per hour. So you definitely want to make sure your kids are bundled up for the bus stop. And tomorrow there will be some mostly cloudy skies. 37 degrees is the temperature, and the winter storm watch is going to start tomorrow night. And this means that there's a possibility of 2 to 5 inches of snow and also a possibility of 1/10 of an inch of ice. So you definitely want to look out for that. You might want to bring out the snow boots just in case, and you might want to bring out the salt too. And if we look at our 5-day, we can see that Thursday there will be some snow as well, with a temperature of low of 34 degrees. Friday the sun melts the snow away as it'll be 45 degrees and partly cloudy skies. And Saturday it will be partly cloudy skies again. Temperature will be around 50 degrees, so it's warming up a little bit. And Sunday there will be some rain in the morning. However, that should clear up, and then it will be 41 degrees for the temperature. So we are seeing some snow, but it should warm up. So it's almost like Carbondale's not ready for winter just yet. I don't think any of us are ready for winter either.
Absolutely not. I do love the snow. I do love the winter, but it's a little bit early for me.
Yeah.
I'd like some time, a little bit more time to enjoy some of the cooler fall temperatures.
I'm thinking December.
Right,
December.
exactly.
That's when Christmas time's coming around, the holiday season.
Right.
Definitely want
That's
snow
when we
then.
want to see snow, not really beginning of November.
No, not before Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
Not at all.
Well, thanks, Jordan.
And now here's Patrick Cotto with a preview of what's coming up next in sports. Patrick?
Well, coming up, SIU debuted for their home fans last night, and women's basketball prepares for their home debut. You're watching River Region Evening Edition on WSIU. Saluki men's basketball team played their first home game last night against the Buffalo Bulls. SIU was without Armand Fletcher, but they were able to hang with the 25th ranked Bulls in the first half, only trailing by 4 at intermission. In the second half, the Bulls opened up the floodgate, putting the game out of reach and held SIU to no three-pointers. Buffalo's guards were too much for SIU to handle.
They're as good as Kentucky's guards. But moving their feet and everything, they're as good as any guard group we've ever played, including the Wichita State groups. That's a pretty good guard group that you saw out there tonight.
Salukis fall to 0-2 after the 62-53 loss, as their next game is on Saturday when they host Arkansas Pine Bluff. And the Saluki women's basketball team will play their first home game tomorrow, taking on the Southeast Missouri State Redhawks. SIU is coming off a tough loss to UT Martin on Friday, but look to give their home fans a treat for Field Trip Day. Sophomore Mackenzie Sylvie dropped 29 points against the Skyhawks and looked to light up the scoreboard going into her second season. Tip-off is set for noon tomorrow in Carbondale. The Chicago Blackhawks headed south last night to take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Chicago brought out the fire right away, taking a 2-0 lead, but then the Hurricanes soon took the goose egg off the board with 2 goals of their own to force overtime. And in that extra overtime period, Carolina Sebastian Ayoul won it with a 3-2, won it in overtime 3-2. The Blackhawks' next game is tomorrow as they get set to host the St. Louis Blues. And on Monday Night Football was a contest between the runts of the NFC litter as the San Francisco 49ers hosted the New York Football Giants on prime time. Both teams were evenly matched and exchanged several leads, but the 49ers were ahead by 3 late in the fourth quarter. Although in the fourth quarter, with a little time on the clock, Eli Manning led the Giants to a late touchdown to put them in front. The 49ers were unable to do anything to win that game as the Giants took the victory 27-23. And here is your play of the day as Oklahoma City's Thunder, Jeremy Grant, throws it down with the backboard slam. Grant had only 10 points on the night, but the Oklahoma City Thunder had his back, winning it 118-101. So with the basketball team playing 2 top 25 opponents, I think they're battle tested for the season.
Absolutely. I think it's going to give them a good chance to, take what they learned from the first 2 games and apply it to other teams that, they can possibly, get a good couple wins out of.
For sure.
Especially after playing the number 2 team in the country.
Absolutely. And, hopefully our women's basketball team can get some wins as well. It'd be nice to see some basketball wins.
Looks like a good year for basketball.
Absolutely. Thanks, Patrick.
No problem.
Will we see the river region become a winter wonderland? Jordan has a final check of the forecast next.
But first, as we head to break, be sure to follow us on social media at River Region News and check out our website for more local content. We'll be right back. And finally tonight, a blind Yorkie was found left for dead on the side of the road this summer. But the pup has since made a full recovery after the community rallied around him with donations to cover the costs of his eye surgery.
Winston was found like this, zipped up in a lunch bag, weighed down by a book, hopelessly abandoned on the side of the road. To add to his troubles, Winston was completely blind. But the Humane Society took him in, and with the help of donations from strangers, he was nursed back to life. And now a couple that helped him pay for his surgery adopted him. What a nice story. Now, Jordan, tell us a little bit more about this weather we're going to be seeing.
Well, sadly, it's not going to be as nice as that story was, but on Thursday, we will be seeing some snow that's actually going to be coming in with that winter storm watch, so just make sure that you have that. Make sure you have an ice scraper and definitely are dressing warm. Friday will be nice and sunny, so that sun's going to melt away. The winter's just peeking through it a little bit. Temperature will be around 45 degrees. Saturday, the temperature will actually increase to 50 degrees, and it'll be partly cloudy skies again. And Sunday, it will be some rain in the morning, but the temperature will drop down to 41 degrees. So we're seeing a little bit of that warmth coming in, and then it's going to get cold just again.
Yeah, so this will be it'll be a good week to go, catch a couple sports games over at the arena.
Yep.
All right.
Definitely.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. The Nightly Business Report is next. I'm Samantha Soto.
And I'm Kyler Giebert. For Jordan Smearman, Patrick Cotto, and all the students who work on Evening Edition, have a great night.